one more question. So we did a survey at the end of this experience, and one of the questions was, overall, was this a positive cultural impact for you? And the responses were so positive. It was like an 8.7 on a scale from 1 to 10. And I'd just like to understand that more. How did this 2-week virtual experience have a cultural impact, either on you or the students or the mentor teacher? In your opinion, how did that happen?
I think for the students in Wisconsin, they got in touch with somebody, well, in this case from the Netherlands, but from a different continent. So basically not an American teacher. So I think that was new for the students. For me, it was a cultural experience because I got to have a look into a different classroom, as in, I'm Dutch, I grew up in the Netherlands, I went to a Dutch school, but it was an American school. So I got to dive into the American culture and had a good look on what it's like teaching students from a different country.
So I'd love to know how you think it's different and the same, but let's see what you all say.
Well, I think it varies a bit because I grew up in that system, that American system. But so when I first saw that question, was this a meaningful cultural impact?
Mm-hmm.
At first I thought no, because I've already experienced this, it's not that new. And then I really thought about it and I thought Texas is a lot different than Wisconsin. And the south and the north of the country are, the differences are quite, immense. So I really thought about it and how they do teaching and learning there. And I tried to connect that to what I did in Texas. And so yeah, you find some things you really like and I wish I had, and then there's things that, I thought maybe what I learned could also be, implemented there. So at the end of the day, it did have a positive impact on me. Yeah.
Wow, there's a lot in that. That's very, very interesting. So my teaching education was from Oregon.
Yep.
Okay, and I also had, I was noticing similarities and differences, just observing the classes in Wisconsin. Yeah. So, yeah.
I would agree. I think if I think about the question, obviously there was a lot of positive cultural effect and impact on it. I personally learned a lot about in the cultural aspect as well, about teaching. For example, I introduced myself as Mika to the students, which is a no-no. In the US, you introduce yourself with your last name, Mr. Bitar. Mm-hmm. I'm used to the Dutch system here. And I also think that a lot of students just, as you mentioned, don't know what the Netherlands is or Syria is. And I had a question actually, what language do you speak? Even though I was speaking English to them, and I said, well, yeah, I speak English, but obviously I speak other languages as well, like Arabic and Dutch. So students were just interested in the cultural aspect of it and the background. And one important thing also my mentor teacher said, that the students are from low socioeconomic households usually in that school. So they don't get to travel a lot. And the fact that I can be just in my room on a screen with these students to get them a bit of that international experience, I think that's really important for them to grow up and learn about other places. So definitely there was a lot of positive cultural exchange.
Yeah, it's the cheapest way to travel.
It is.
Right? And just have a conversation with someone who's different.
Yeah.
Who's from a different place, different languages. And it sounds like your students were curious. Yeah. And really, if we can encourage curiosity in others, in other cultures, that really is that global mindset that we want to encourage. It's really beautiful to hear that. So let's just end on that.
Perfect.